Okay, good. So, this is the topic today. I hope that you can see the screen that I'm sharing. So first, let me introduce to you about the topic today, which is crop biotechnology. Hold on. So in this topic, I'm going to share with you the synopsis. So this is the synopsis. So for the crop biotechnology, this is the synopsis. So crop biotechnology, situated under one of the three main domains of technology. It is an area of agricultural or plant science, which encompasses the use of most recent and state-of-the-art scientific tools and techniques such as genetic engineering, molecular markers, molecular diagnostics, and plant tissue culture technology. So in this topic, we'll cover different fields of science, such as what? Molecular farming, genetics, plant physiology, and molecular plant pathology and biochemistry for a superior and complete comprehension of the course. So once you finish the course, you'll be able to understand, master, and correlate all the synergistic factors involved in contemporary agriculture and plant science. So this is the synopsis of the course as it would be in your table 4 of the course MQA registration form. And students, these are the course learning outcomes that we will be covering. Number one, we are going to describe the knowledge of plant science and its importance to the field of applied sciences and biotechnology. So the domains that we cover are C2 and PLO1. CLO2, the course learning outcome 2, would be display the knowledge and technical competency in operating basic equipment and procedures related to the course. So the domain is P2 and PLO2. And for the third course learning outcome, we will be discussing the use of creative, innovative, and effective solutions to solve the problems or challenges when it comes to plant science and agricultural biotechnology. So these are the three course learning outcomes with the domains given here. So this is what we will be sticking to throughout the course. Okay, so following on, for your mode of assessment, you can see that it comprises of continuous assessment and the finals. So for your continuous assessment, it carries a total of 50% marks and the final another 50% marks here. For the CA, the test which covers the CLO 1, course learning outcome 1, will be covering, the weightage is around 20%, is 20%. Second, you will also be having practicals. So your practical reports, which covers the CLO2, course learning outcome 2, will be a 10% weightage. Okay. And lastly, you will be given a project. And for the project, you have to do a presentation. So your presentation will cover another 20%. So in total, your continuous assessment marks will be 50%. Which leaves another 50% to be covered in the finals. So in the finals, your test, your theory paper covering CLO1 will be 40%. Okay. And the remaining OSPI, which is your practical test, will be covering another 10%, which adds up to 50% marks. Okay, so this is about your assessment. And throughout the crop biotechnology course, of course, I will be sharing with you on the important topics as the skeleton for what you need to know. But most importantly, there are many additional references which our topics will be from. So, citing that, number one is the crop biotechnology, genetic modification, and genome editing, published in 2018. So, the book is also online. Second, we have Slater, A. Scott, and Fowler, uh, published in 2008. Their book is Plant Biotechnology, the Genetic Manipulation of Plants. Okay, so similarly, I've given here up to 4 additional references for you to cover. Okay, so having done that, meaning we have finished with me introducing about the course synopsis, the course learning outcome, the modes of assessment, and your references. So with that, I'll be able to start with the first topic. Let us delve to the introduction to crop biotechnology. So this is our first topic. So we know that uh, we are studying about role of crop biotechnology. So crop biotechnology mainly relates to agriculture. Uh, so agriculture is one of the most important uh, sector in the world. Okay, primarily because it supplies us with food, not our food and other materials for our life. So it is one of the main important economical sector as well. Here in these slides, you are shown the countries which really embarks on the agricultural sector. So you can even see Malaysia here. Ours are a bit low, 10 to 5 to 9%. Okay, 5 to 9% only. Hold on. Sorry, 10 to 19%. 10 to 19%, I think. So you can see that how other countries are also focusing on agriculture. So in the olden days, we see that many civilization they have already practiced agriculture, and current agriculture is totally different from what had been practiced last time, because current agricultural crops products of plant domestication, meaning we have domesticated the plants. We have continuously breed the plants through human and natural selection causes to shape them into what they are today, according to our preference. So in reality, in the wild, the plants, most of the domesticated plants that we are eating today, including rice, uh, starch, grains, all of these will be very different to what it was earlier in the its wild form. So you can see in the old world, this is centuries. So papaya was there, eggplants, spinach, coffee, these are all plants that has been used earlier. And then you can see how we even find newer plants for us to eat until today. So how biotechnology is playing a role in this agriculture? Uh, so we are actually being able to alter the food. Biotechnology had influenced human life science since time immemorial. So through our biotechnology, we are able to produce fermented products. So some of the food that we are eating, it has undergone fermentation product. Example, bread, wine, many of the local delicacies like tempeh, mm, and then thosai, the soy sauce, all these are products of fermented uh, food. And then the next way how biotechnology can influence human life is through conventional crop breeding. So we can also grow the crops and shape them according to selection and breeding to suit our preferences. So this is still happening. So we are still shaping the crops uh, in each of its harvest according to what we want. And later, another thing is that green revolution. Green revolution was around 20, 30 years ago when many industries they also promoted crop or agriculture by introducing technology and then pesticides and nutrients, the fertilizers, fertilizer productions, all this boomed during the Green Revolution. And we see that many small farmers, they have incorporated their lands to become bigger estates uh, so that it can produce uh, common products. Okay, rather than different crop products, they all combine to grow a common product which they can sell to meet the market demand. So that was green revolution that happened a few years ago. Actually, a few decades ago. And then the rDNA technology. Okay, this is still utilized in biotechnology. Mm. This with the recombinant DNA technology, genetic engineering, we have been able to uh, come up continuously improve the crop products. So in this way, biotechnology is having a very big impact to in the agricultural field. Okay, so you can see here it is showing how the crop industry or the food industry was different before and after food biotechnology. So example here, we were facing a lot of pest problems, and after the food biotechnology is introduced, we have reduced the amount of pesticide usage by incorporating some genes into the plants, which makes the plant not liked by the pest. So the pest doesn't don't like to eat the plants anymore. So in this way, we have reduced. Another one is also by using the biological competition when it comes to pesticide biological control. Another one is the overall health of the animal had been improvised, had been improved by selective breeding, one of the way, and another one is through genetic engineering and also production of vaccines for the animals for their better health. We also found that through biotechnology, greater yield can be produced by undergoing certain mutations to the plants, also by rDNA technology. Mm. Even before this, farmers they had been doing this through selective breeding, but biotechnology has currently uh, amplified the progress. Mm. So we can progress faster, make new inventions faster compared to the selective breeding. And through biotechnology, we have able to reduce the carbon dioxide, reduction in carbon dioxide production, mm, and farmers they can earn more money because there are more yields, better health, lesser cost of materials, and lastly, through fortification nutrients, the food are more nutritious, more healthy compared to what it was before. So these are examples of how biotechnology is being able to help in the food industry. So here we have urgent need for alternative methods mm, in crop biotechnology, in crop science or agriculture fields. Because why? The world's population keep on increasing, meaning we need more food to supply the growing population. So we have to come up with new ways how we can improve the food production. And secondly, we are also recognizing that or becoming aware that human health can be affected by disease-causing pathogenic organism, and by eating nutritional or quality foods, vitamins and minerals, this can be prevented to a certain extent. So we are becoming more aware that nutritions are good when it is food are supplied with vitamins and minerals. They are of good quality. It can increase the health of the human. Mm. So that is number two. And number three, adverse global climate changes accompanied by detrimental biotic and abiotic hazards or stresses to crops and ecosystem is taking place. Meaning the world climate is constantly changing, shifting, mm, and it is also causing uh, it is damaging both the biotic living things and abiotic non-living things by causing some stress to the crops and ecosystem. Example is the changing of the temperature, weather pattern, which uh, we are bombarded with floods or dry seasons. Okay. Another example are pollution or acid rains. So all these are causing damage to both the biotic and abiotic um, components. And then lastly, number four, human societies are continuously in search for new non-food plant products. Okay, so normally we see uh, agriculture was developed as a food, right? But then later on, since very long time, what we saw that it can also be used for non-food purposes, such as biomaterials or therapeutics, medicines or biofuels, or even in the industries, such as building industries and these sort of things. So all these are reasons actually why the agriculture field need to be revamped, improvised, reinforced. And that is where the biotechnology is coming in as a tool to improvise the current agricultural field. So we also see that the classical agriculture can no longer support the demand of plant commodity, food and biomaterials. So that is also another reason why we have to come up with new ways how to increase the production of the crop materials. So as an answer for that, uh, we plant breeding. Plant breeding, it's a classical breeding plus technology. We came up with crop biotechnology. Crop biotechnology is incorporating the classical breeding method with whatever technology that we are currently having to improvise the plant breeding. So one of the things that I was talking to you on earlier, a point that I was mentioning is the green revolution. Example of how technology improvised the agriculture field. The agriculture area is through the green revolution. It happens during the 1980s and 1990s. Okay, so it was able to increase tenfold in the wheat production in some countries like India, China, and some European countries. Uh, so it can feed three times as many people it used to be able to. So in this green revolution, what happened? So shift in agriculture way from small family operated farms to large industrial scale agribusiness. So this is where I told you just now, small family operated farms were incorporated, were joined to become a bigger industrial scale business. And why was this? Because previously, when it was family operated or in a small scale, they don't have enough resources to manage, and they were also producing each of them. They were producing different kind of crops. So when they were combined, uh, and it was parked under the government or the agricultural ministry, so they can rake in more support, various supports from the industries to help the farmers in an industrial scale. And not only that, they can plan what to grow to meet the market demand, so that when they can grow something in a large quantity, they can produce the food or the materials in a large quantity, then they are also able to actually export it to a larger market. So these are some of the techniques or methods that the government implemented. And number two, during the Green Revolution, you see, there were increase of mechanization. We were using more machines, and then we were also looking into genetically modified organisms. Other than that, we improvised the irrigation, the method of watering the plants through technology as well. And there were many new and more improvised fertilizers being produced during the Green Revolution. And the pesticides, the use of pesticides were also optimized uh, by reducing its toxicity, looking more into the environmental problems. So, like this, the Green Revolution has helped the farmers. Another one is that it greatly increases the efficiency of land's short-term profitability and food supply chain. And other than that, it also managed to decrease the world hunger and increased earth carrying capacity for humans, meaning we can use we can grow, we can produce more food by at the same amount of land. That is what we mean by carrying capacity. So we optimize how much the land can be arable, can produce. So what helped us mostly in biotechnology, the technology part, one of it is the knowledge, our knowledge in molecular genetics and omics. So when we talk about omics, we mean the abbreviation. It stands for the abbreviation as abbreviation for genomics, transcriptomics, epigenomics, and proteomics. So these are all parts of the molecular structure. So you can see here omics, where the genomics studies about the DNA, and transcriptomics about how from DNA RNA can be transcripted, and from RNA how proteins can be produced. That is proteomics. And lastly, metabolomics is how the proteins, either in their second, tertiary, or quaternary structure, combines with other proteins or polypeptides to form the active metabolites. That is bringing the response or importance in the plants. So this also has greatly improvised the crop biotechnology. And moving on, another very important part of crop biotechnology is the plant tissue culture. So this plant tissue culture has led to numerous biotechnological spin-offs, such as rapid clonal multiplication, somatic breeding, protoplast fusion, and etc. So all these are methods that can be used in plant tissue culture. And yes, I will be teaching each of these topics separately later on for your understanding. So what I need you to understand here is that plant tissue culture is the bigger umbrella under which many different techniques are there to cultivate and propagate the plants. So we grow them in culture jars, petri plates like this, and we can multiply them, propagate them very fast. So there are many uses of plant tissue culture that we will be looking into. And another one, very important thing is that in today's world, IoT, the IoT has many users in agriculture. So what are the users of IoT is that drones are there, soil management can be improvised, water management, livestock management, and precision farming. So all these are the smart agriculture method. Okay, the smart agriculture market is expected to reach 18.45 billion in 2022. So we call this smart farming or precision agriculture. It is about the same. So later on, I will explain to you what is the slight differences between smart farming and precision agriculture. So precision agriculture is a step higher than smart farming. So it uses technology like satellite farming or site-specific crop management. All these are methods of farming or management concept where we observe and measure and respond to the variabilities in the crop. So as I mentioned, we are using many different technologies here, such as drones. Now, the drones can be used to assess the health, control the irrigation, the crop monitoring. We can even use the crop to spray insecticides, pesticides, or even fertilizers, like this. And then we can use sensors, example, for soil management. So these sensors will be able to tell us the status of the and the parameters like temperature and humidity of the soil so that the machine can change it later. How the irrigation can be done. So water management with automated irrigation. This was what I was telling. Example, let's say the sensor here in the soil at the soil management, it shows that the soil is having lesser water humidity. So it will relay the signal to the server and the server will switch on irrigation and water will be supplied to the plants. Okay, so this is automated irrigation. Similarly, some chips can be also fixed to livestock. So for us to observe and manage the livestock, to measure their health, their body temperature, and these sort of things. And lastly, precision farming with Internet of with IoT, all data from different sensors is accessible to the agriculturists on their IoT mobiles. So, in this way, what we are doing is we are connecting many devices to the server. So IoT means Internet of Things. We don't use IT anymore. We use IoT, Internet of Things. So everything that can be connected via Internet, we can get the information from them. Okay, for example, the drones, it can relay the information to the server about the uh, health of the plants, right? And sensors in the soil, it can send information to the server about the soil's pH, uh, humidity, and these sort of things. So in this way, the server will be able to uh, make decision, and accordingly it can carry out the implement the function. So this is what we call precision farming. Everything is measured and everything is being done according to what is needed without any waste. So that is later we will be studying more about precision farming and I'll explain to you in detail. So another example of crop biotechnology, another sector is aquaponic. So in aquaponic, it's a food production system. We are combining two systems here, which is aquaculture. Aquaculture is growing aquatic animals like fish and so on in tanks, and we couple it with hydroponics. Hydroponics is growing plants in water, mostly without soil, in water. So how we can combine both hydroponics and aquaponics, hydroponics and aquaculture. So we combine both to have aquaponics. So the nutrient rich from the fish waste is supplied to the hydroponic plants. And in the hydroponic plants, the nitrifying bacteria can convert it to nitrates and use it. So in this way, the the waste from the aquaculture can be utilized in the hydroponics. And the hydroponics can also supply oxygen again for the aquaculture. Not much, but it is also contributing. So in this way, we have aquaponics. And this is another one, hydroponics, but in a vertical farming method. So this is a large scale, mostly it is done indoor, where you can grow the crops vertically in layers or in racks like this. And why is it important? So in this way, it reduces the use of soil. Conventional farming, you need very large area for you to grow this much of plants. But then when it is done vertically, the area of the land can be reduced. And another important thing about hydroponic is that the water is recycled, is cycled. It doesn't seep off and disappear into the soil. So the water stays there. Only the one that is being absorbed by the plant is used up. So the remaining 70% water can be saved. So it reduces water consumption by up to 70% and lesser foodborne diseases. And because it is done indoor, lesser pest and pesticides or herbicides used. So the plants are safer and more environmental friendly. And lastly, bringing you to the future. How do we think technology is going to change the change the implementation of agriculture in the future? So today our sensors technology keep on improving. Like the sensors are becoming better. We are finding devices, machines, and information technology that can be incorporated or used in the agricultural industry. And there are also some sophisticated technologies like robots, temperature, moisture sensors, aerial images, GPS technology that we are already using in the smart farming uh, agriculture system. So all these advanced devices and precision agriculture combined with robotic system will be very helpful for the farmers. It can profit them, making their ways of growing crops more efficient, safe, and environmentally friendly. Okay. So this is what we are having now. We are already having hydroponics, algae feedstock, bioplastic, and how we are going to move it to the future. We can push it as desert agriculture, seawater farming. Okay. With the technology that we are having, such as vertical or urban farming, we can push it into genetic modification, 3D printing, cultured meats. And today, we have drone technology, data analytics, IoT, and precision agriculture. And in the future, we can incorporate nanotechnology, food sharing, crowd farming, AI, and blockchain methods to improvise the current agriculture. Okay, so that's all for the first introduction topic. So, do you have any questions? Can you understand? Any questions? So if no questions, we meet again tomorrow at 10 o'clock. That's all. Thank you.